Bermuda Broadcasting Company and lead sponsor HSBC is pleased to present the annual Christmas Boat Parade 2018. Join me, Keeble the Captain Burgess.
And me, co-host Diane Carlson, live from the flagpole on Front Street as we bring you the latest on the decorated Christmas boats in this year's competition on Ocean 89 starting at 6:30 p.m.
We'll have special guests joining us for interviews during the event. This live coverage of the Christmas Boat Parade on Ocean 89 is December 8th. This special presentation has been brought to you by lead sponsor HSBC.
You can count on us.
Save $1.30 on Purdue fresh chicken leg quarters, only $1.59 per pound. For a great snack, golden ripe pineapples, just $4.99 each. Crisco Original of butter shortening sticks, just $4.89 for a 20-ounce package. Dettol disinfectant spray, only $3.99 for a 400-milliliter tin. Select varieties of Tide Simply liquid laundry detergent, only $7.49 for a 40-ounce bottle. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Thursday, November the 29th. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us. The plight of the island's public school system back in the spotlight tonight, with union representatives saying teachers have simply had enough of numerous obstacles. Complaints include crumbling school buildings, a lack of technology, and inadequate staffing levels, among others. During an interview with Bermuda Broadcasting News today, the General Secretary of the Bermuda Union of Teachers, Michael Charles, outlined a list of grievances, but stopped short of entertaining the idea of future industrial action. Tarai Trott with more.
Excellent. When you cross the road, you have to...
The message throughout the country today is that teachers are fed up.
And we look forward.
Veteran educator Michael Charles, now the General Secretary of the formidable Bermuda Union of Teachers, spoke by phone to Bermuda Broadcasting News and was eager to learn of the government's plans to address the issues.
What do you think the government has yet to address your concerns?
Well, I can't answer that question. That's for the government. We have brought numerous concerns, and this has been going on for quite a while. We've brought numerous concerns of the teachers to government. Finally, the government have decided on a way forward. However, that does not come into place until next year.
The Education Minister, Diallo Rabane, in a statement on Wednesday, acknowledged the concerns of the teachers as outlined to him via email. The minister stating in part, in order for the Bermuda public school system to effectively meet its mandate and goals, we need the Department of Education, the unions, parents, and teachers working together. Asked if these groups the minister named were indeed working together, Mr. Charles telling us,
I can't say that they have been. The ministry has not been forthcoming, and whether or not they can or cannot, we don't know because we have not been told. We, as teachers, expect our employers to provide certain things and certain equipment for us to do our job properly. And we have not been given these tools to do a proper job for quite a while now.
The minister also stating he did attend a meeting recently with the BUT membership and urged the BUT and their executive to keep the lines of communication open. He also affirmed that the ministry is committed to having an open and honest dialogue with the BUT, teachers, and parents to address their concerns and will continue to meet these stakeholders. So if the BUT says their concerns continue to go unaddressed, what action might they take going forward?
Well, we don't want to preempt anything that we might decide to do in future. However, we have not seen any change at West Pembroke since the work rule have been instigated. So one has to wonder whether the ministry is listening or whether they can't do what is supposed to be done. And we have not had any word from the ministry as to whether or not they intend to acquiesce to the wishes of the teachers.
Good legislation, but it needs to be bolstered to provide greater protection to victims of sex offenses. That's how Opposition Senator Marcus Jones describes the Criminal Code Sex Offender Management Amendment Act 2018, passed in the Upper House yesterday.
Our concern was we felt that the exemption for petty in a situation where this sex offenders register is not open to the entire public was something that we need to look at again. This morning or today when victims of sexual crimes read the news about this legislation? Are they going to feel comfortable? Are they going to feel like their rights will be protected? What happens many times is the rights of the perpetrator is looked at and valued more than the victim themselves, and that was our concern.
Are you saying then that the registry should be made public?
I'm saying yes, we need to look at that. I believe that never walked in the shoes of a victim, having talked to people that have gone through that gruesome experience, I believe that they will be far more comfortable with that situation where it's made public.
With regard to rehabilitation of sex offenders, Mr. Jones is adamant that treatment whilst incarcerated should not be an option.
As a country, we can definitely do better as far as having the professional expertise on hand to not only help to rehabilitate the offender, but also the victim as well. We need to put as much energy in the rehabilitation of both. And that's something that we can definitely beef up in the next step in this legislation. We would love to see a situation where it was made mandatory that, and we know in this particular piece of legislation, an opportunity was made available for those that want to appeal to get out of prison earlier if they were able to be a part of the program, that they would experience early release. We're looking to see that everyone, no matter how long they're in prison, will have to follow through and go through the program. I think that's necessary.
The amendment to the criminal code will prevent offenders who fail to complete court-ordered programs or programs included in their case plan during their period of incarceration from being released on license or released on their earliest release date. It also allows for disciplinary offenses for sex offenders who do not complete mandated programs during incarceration. Meantime, the Center Against Abuse supports the bill. However, according to Laurie Shields-Smith, executive director of the center, it wants to include a provision for the notification of victims of any appeals, probations, or parole hearings, or conditions of release, or release of the sex offender via the same channel that the minister is notified. Early notification of a victim, she added, can assist them with establishing a plan on how they can proceed with their lives. The center believes this inclusion allows victims to exercise their rights to seek services and professional resources to assist them as needed. According to Ms. Smith, often victims learn about the release of their sex offender after they have been released through family, friends, media, or even through the misfortune of bumping into them. Well, we'll have more for you after this short break, including all the latest weather news. Stay with us.
Bermudians use U.S. Express at mailboxes to ship their online shopping because it's up to 80% cheaper than regular couriers.
They're always willing to help. They're willing to go above and beyond. They've helped me many times with packages, to help me with invoicing and all sorts. So I love mailboxes.
Easy, convenient, and fast. The people are fantastic.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
At Argus, our interest is you. Each of you. Around here, we know that when two people seem the same, they can have very different insurance needs. For their health, home, work, and future. Which is why we take the time to get to know you as an individual, so we can provide insurance coverage that fits your life. Because after all, our interest is you.
Hey Smokey, let's get lunch from the Marketplace Food Court. You know what? That sounds good. They have oxtails, pumpkin, curried lamb, lemon chicken, sweet and sour ribs, vegetable stir fry, and the variety goes on.
Their chefs are good. They'll set you right up with all the good carvings.
And don't forget the special dishes from the islands.
It don't matter. No matter what you feel like eating, Marketplace will have it.
You know, it's quick, it's quality, and at prices you can count on.
Visit us 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner made for you daily at the Hamilton Marketplace Food Court.
I'm Tony Waterman. Coming up on The Breakdown this week. A blaze of devastation in California, the deadliest wildfire in the state's history, is now 100% contained. As residents sift through the ashes, we'll examine Bermuda's exposure to the fire and what it means for investors who backed a first-of-its-kind catastrophe bond. Shop till you drop. Cyber Monday smashes all expectations, laying the groundwork for a record season for online shopping. We'll talk security risks. Plus, a picture-perfect spot for international clients. One photographer bringing global talent to Bermuda. That's on Thursday at 8 p.m. on ZBM TV 9.
Thanks for staying with us. The Ministry of Legal Affairs will be tabling a bill on Friday to amend the Children Act 1998 with regard to litigation guardians. A release from the ministry states the bill seeks to remove ambiguity concerning the appointment of litigation guardians and strengthen the existing framework that assigns a litigation guardian to children whose custody, care, or control is before the courts. The new framework establishes a licensing regime for litigation guardians. A person who is granted a license will be added to a register of licensed litigation guardians to be established and maintained by the Minister of Legal Affairs. The court will appoint persons from the register to represent the interests of children. Provision is also made for remuneration of the litigation guardian. The amendments will also provide structure with regard to the appointment and remuneration of counsel. The Court of Appeal has upheld the legality of gay marriage, but should the government play its final legal card and appeal the decision to the Privy Council in London, the island's final court of appeal? Well, lawyers have predicted such an appeal by the government would fail and simply add to the mounting costs to take the case to court. Tarai Trott and cameraman Kyle McNeil were on Reed Street recently to ask residents to weigh in.
I think they should let it stand.
And why is that?
I think that they have spent enough money trying to fight it, and I think that it's now time to leave it alone and move on.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a waste of government money, or taxpayers' money as it actually is. And I think that if they don't accept it now and they waste all that money and say they did win the appeal, it'll all happen again and be reversed in a couple of years' time anyway. So I really don't think the government should waste the money.
Leave it alone, you believe?
I absolutely believe that, yes.
Last.
Anything to do with gay marriage, I'm not for it. It's wrong. It's a wrong thing.
I don't really know if they should. I just feel that that's very expensive, and that's what I've heard from my clients, that it's an interesting decision if they do.
Should the government appeal its case against gay marriage to the Privy Council?
No, I don't think it's worth the government's money, the public's money, to appeal something that should be a right for everybody to get married. So
leave it alone, you say?
Leave it alone.
Should government appeal all the way to the Privy Council, or leave it alone and let the ruling stand?
I think they should appeal. Yeah.
So you believe there are grounds in which that need to be clarified?
Yes. Yes.
Should they take that step and get this clarified?
Absolutely not. They've spent way too much money and time on it already, so time's up, I say.
I'm a firm believer it should be left alone. I think love for all people is very important. I think it's time Bermuda actually gathered their arms around each other and supported the success that's come out of the courts, as well as ensure that people have freedom for their lives.
Meanwhile, Tarai used the opportunity to gauge reaction to the debate over the bill passed by the Senate that paves the way for a sex offenders registry, which will not be open to the public, but only to those concerned, such as police, victims' parents, among others.
That's actually a difficult question, because obviously I'm from the UK and we have sex offenders registers in the UK. It's difficult because of the vigilante side of it, that you don't want people to see someone's name and then take matters into their own hands. But I do think there does need to be a register. I'm not sure about whether it should be opened or closed.
Should it be made public for everybody to see?
I think that's a matter for the courts. And certainly I think in today's world, those are things with the ability of social media across the world that the courts really do think that one through well.
I really haven't given that any thought. I mean, I think there's probably some benefit to it being disclosed, at least to the people in the area in which the convicted sex offender lives. Right. But I haven't really given that any thought.
Yes, I think it should be made public. I mean, I have a child myself, so I would want things to be known about people that are in the public that are registered sex offenders. So.
Thanks, Tarai. Now let's head over to the AccuWeather headquarters for the latest.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and we've had an unsettled stretch of weather the last couple of days. We could use some, well, for one, less windy conditions, two, a little more sunshine, and three, probably the temperatures to rise just a touch. We have our cold front just off to our south, and what's been kicking up the winds a lot over the last couple of days has been a storm system well to our north here. You can see a lot of the clouds associated with it, and we have been having those windy conditions, also the cooler temperatures with that frontal boundary passage as well. Our satellite showing all of the clouds that are in place. We're really under a cool pocket of air right now, which I'm sure you've felt if you've been outside today, with temperatures in the 60s and then that northwest wind as well. Our radar, you can see that we do have some moisture around, so as we head into tonight and also tomorrow, a spotty shower or two can't be ruled out. Not a washout by any means, but we'll still have the opportunity for a few showers. Temperatures right now across the island sitting in the 60s here, and what makes it feel even cooler is the wind direction, especially coming in out of the northwest, 20 to 25 knots. So gives you a cooler real feel temperature out there. Waves inside the reef 2 to 4 feet, outside of the reef 7 to 15 feet. So we still have very choppy conditions outside of the reef. So any kind of boating is still going to be a tough go around. We continue the small craft warning by the Bermuda Weather Service at least through Saturday morning there. Here are your tidal times. We have our low tide coming in tonight at 8:05, and high tide comes in just before 2:15 on your Friday morning. All right, for tonight, as I mentioned, we'll allow for a few spotty showers, a low of 63 degrees. It's still going to be a little bit windy, but we will start to see the winds subsiding a touch compared to where we have been with the windy conditions. Tomorrow, clouds and sunshine, a shower in spots. Again, it's not going to be a washout by any means, but it will be breezy with a high of 70 degrees. And you know what? Tomorrow is the last day of November, so we can look back at this month. Some of these numbers coming from the Bermuda Weather Service. Over 8 inches of rain this month, so it has been exceptionally wet. You can see our year-to-date rainfall. We're pretty close to where we should be, so it has been a wet time. It's the last day of the month tomorrow, and also the end of the Atlantic hurricane season. No hurricanes or no tropical storms that we have to worry about. We're actually going to see high pressure starting to build into the area once we head into the weekend. So something to look forward to there. If you're doing any traveling, this is what it's doing right now. Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad, a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the area. If you're heading out to the East Coast, Toronto, there will be some snow out there for your Friday. The extended forecast, still windy at times with some showers on Friday. Saturday and Sunday look good. Then it looks like our next front with showers and storms will arrive early next week.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Price Rate is your one-stop shop with something for everyone. Household goods for kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. Aisles of bulk groceries at value prices. A complete selection of fresh meat and produce. And an extensive range of frozen items to cover every meal. Wines from around the world and beer and liquor at discount prices. Visit Price Right at our 2 locations in Pembroke and Warren. There's always something new and always something for everyone.
From the very beginning, it was always our singular focus to do whatever it takes, use every possible resource to fight cancer, and never lose sight of the patients we're fighting for. Our cancer treatment specialists share the same vision. Experts from all over the world working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. And these are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com. Appointments available now.
Win a trip or two to the 2019 Trinidad Carnival. When you purchase a car from Bermuda Motors, your name will be entered into a draw for a chance to win an all-expenses-paid trip for two, including flights, accommodation, and tickets to the Trinidad Carnival. Visit Bermuda Motors on Church Street or bermudamotors.bm.
Surface Terms has been serving Bermuda for over 25 years, supplying and installing tile and natural stone. We have a large in-stock selection of beautiful porcelain wood planking, including our exclusive Bermuda cedar tile. You will also find Bermuda's best in-stock selection of countertops, including natural granites, exotic quartzites, and silestone engineered quartz in all the newest colors. Our team will be happy to help you. Stop by our showroom at 17 Serpentine Road or give us a call at 295-8005.
There's nothing quite like rolling up your sleeves and cooking a good, hearty meal. Well, the volunteers at Meals on Wheels do that just every day. But we're in for a surprise today as celebrity chef Marcus Samuelsson jumped in to prepare a dish for their clients. The owner of Marcus's restaurant and the famous Red Rooster in Harlem shows us why cooking is the best way to give back.
It's an opportunity any aspiring chef would dream about, to spend a day in the kitchen with celebrity chef and restaurateur Marcus Samuelsson. But there's no time for glitz and glam here. It's yet another busy day spent preparing a nutritious meal for the island's seniors.
Washing broccoli, chopping broccoli, preparing the vegetables, potatoes, chopping up the potatoes into cubes, which are now being roasted to go into the gumbo.
The top chefs from Marcus's restaurant were inspired by a New Orleans dish, chicken gumbo, with fresh broccoli and roasted potatoes, flavored with locally grown spices.
We have a lot of island secrets that people don't really use, like the spice leaf, the island spice leaf. So picking that, drying it out, blending it up, and using it as like a base for your spices, and other little plants like the island thyme that grows wild in your garden.
The meals provided to those in the community unable to cook for themselves, all prepared right here in this kitchen. It can only be made possible by the volunteers who work year-round with local chefs, giving back to the charity, not only passing on valuable professional techniques, but for a sense of connection within the community.
Cooking is so much built on community, so volunteering is one of the major aspects of that, and people are getting together, people are developing friendships and communities through food. That's amazing. I wouldn't be here without having a large community and volunteering, and anytime you can give back, you should be doing that, especially around the holiday season.
More than 40 pounds of chicken was donated to Meals on Wheels to help feed the 215 service users today, and according to the charity, the demand for it is growing.
We have volunteer cooks that come in here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so having tomorrow's meal prepared today is a big help for us, yeah.
And how many people do you service in the community per day?
215 we are right now. It's increasing every day. We get a lot of calls now for people needing our services.
So in this case, there's never too many chefs in one kitchen.
He's very generous, and his head chef, Denai, has been doing this with us for several months now and giving us new tips and new recipes, and I'm sure the clients are really looking forward to tomorrow's meal now.
A little goes a long way here at Meals on Wheels. One afternoon spent in the kitchen can offer a huge sense of warmth and comfort to those in need, if it be only for just one meal.
Stay with us, news right after the break.
Christmas in Bermuda is a special time for most of us. Unfortunately, for some families in Bermuda, there's no warm Christmas. This year, many families will be in need. It's the 30th anniversary of the Lions Clubs of Bermuda and the Marketplace, helping share the Christmas spirit, so let's help take care of each other. Shop at any Marketplace, shopping center, Modern Mart, or A1 stores, and purchase extra tins of non-perishable items. Once you have purchased these items, place your food donation into Santa's bin located at the front of the store. The Lions Clubs will collect your food contributions and assemble them into hampers to be delivered to the families in need around the island. Christmas comes once a year. Help make it a special time for every family in Bermuda. Sponsored in part by the Bermuda Broadcasting Company. Share the Christmas spirit.
At Argus, our interest is you. Each of you. Around here, we know that when two people seem the same, they can have very different insurance needs for their health, home, work, and future. Which is why we take the time to get to know you as an individual, so we can provide insurance coverage that fits your life. Because after all, our interest is you.
Bermuda Broadcasting Company and lead sponsor HSBC is pleased to present the annual Christmas Boat Parade 2018. Join me, Keeble the Captain Burgess.
And me, co-host Diane Carlson, live from the flagpole on Front Street as we bring you the latest on the decorated Christmas boats in this year's competition on Ocean 89 starting at 6:30 p.m.
We'll have special guests joining us for interviews during the event. This live coverage of the Christmas Boat Parade on Ocean 89 is December 8th. This special presentation has been brought to you by lead sponsor HSBC.
Turning to sports, tonight we look back once again at a few highlights from the show Real Sports Talk Bermuda. Mike Sharp reports.
We also took a poll and showed results from 3 questions. One question was, what's the biggest obstacle to individual sporting success? The Director of Youth and Sport, Norbert Simons, and World Indoor Triple Jump Champion Brian Wellman both answer that, while the Athletic Director of Salters School, Darren Lewis, and Bermuda Olympic Association Vice President Brenda Dale speak about a new compliance officer and a lottery. First, we hear from Simons.
Funding, training facilities, self-discipline, lack of ambition. All above.
It's a combination of more.
Yeah.
And I think that the other thing is the biggest obstacle is us.
Us.
Is us. And when I say us, I'm talking about as a people. Is our attitude towards sports, and sometimes it's our expectations. I like to say that we have champagne taste, but we ain't want to pay for Bud Light. But with what little we give our athletes, then we get a little disappointed if they don't come in and win at the highest level. We cannot continue to ask our athletes to train all year round. We don't put them in the environment. We need to create the environment where it's not just a physical part, but the mental approach to the whole sport is really important. And I think that we seem to forget that. Track and field, football, and I'm going to speak from track and field because I'm a little closer to it than I am to football now. We have these track meets that are no more than training sessions. And then we get these kids to go down to Carifta at a junior level. And this is the first major meet that they have to face. They haven't dealt with the crowds. They haven't dealt with what it means to be in the atmosphere in the environment. And then we get frustrated when they don't respond the way they should. But we need to set a plan in place for all sports that shows that progressive development. And it involves funding, it involves looking at the psychological aspect of it all, and we can't leave out the fact that we have, over the last 20 years, we've lost our talent pool through our schools.
Here we go. What's the biggest obstacle to individual sporting success? And right now, 41% say funding, no one says training facilities, 32% say self-discipline, 9% say a lack of ambition, and 18% say other. Well, first, let's get a quick reaction to that, you guys. Most people say funding.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm not surprised at all.
Because it's from, like Mrs. Norbert said earlier, the sad thing is in athletics is it's glorified practice because basically the outcome of the track meet before you get there, you have no anticipation, the fact that, oh my goodness, who am I competing against? Everybody. So therefore the level of, and then all of a sudden you throw kids from basically, we have no performance preparation in terms of any other country, you compete at high enough levels. And then when you get to the major one, the step from the levels in which you've competed isn't that big a step. Our sad thing is our level of competition is here, but then the step is here is too great.
Sure.
So you set us up to fail because you don't have, so it takes funding to do that.
Aaron, less than 2 minutes left.
Yeah, just I guess off the subject of funding, but basically I would love to see a compliance officer for sport put in place in Bermuda, and that first and sole purpose is to look at our athletes that have that potential, and where the funding comes in is getting them scholarships to overseas. And the training, as Brian will attest to, you're getting some first-class training at the NCAA level, and you're getting an education at the same time, and I've always been one with education and sport. You can't go wrong.
Real short for you, Brenda.
I support the lottery idea in terms of for sport as well as culture in Bermuda, because I think that those are the areas that get hardest hit when there are the budget crunches. Health and education, et cetera, come first. And, it is what it is.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
And that's all from us this evening. I'm Jasmine Patterson. We hope to see you again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.
I'm Tony Waterman. Coming up on The Breakdown this week. A blaze of devastation in California, the deadliest wildfire in the state's history, is now 100% contained. As residents sift through the ashes, we'll examine Bermuda's exposure to the fire and what it means for investors who backed a first-of-its-kind catastrophe bond. Shop till you drop. Cyber Monday smashes all expectations, laying the groundwork for a record season for online shopping. We'll talk security risks. Plus, a picture-perfect spot for international clients. One photographer bringing global talent to Bermuda. That's on Thursday at 8 p.m. on ZBM TV 9.